This is the scary story about the party.
One day, 3 siblings decided to throw a party.
Their parents are going to be gone for a couple days, and they decided why not. There was Emma, Julie, and Charlie. They got drinks and food and invited everybody they knew.
One by one, people started to arrive and the party was in full swing. Everybody was having a good time dancing and talking
When suddenly there was a knock on the door. Emma answered it,
and found a clown standing on the doorstep,
she thought it was the entertainer they hired.
and she invited him inside.
A couple minutes later,
Charlie went upstairs to his bedroom to get something.
but when he opened his bedroom door,
The clown was right in front of him.
the clown then stabbed him to death and threw his dead body under the bed. Julie and Emma couldn't find their brother, so they went upstairs to look for him. But when they went in his room,
The clown was standing there.
he then stabbed the 2 girls to death and threw their dead bodies under the bed also.
Hours later, people began to leave the party.
And soon enough, the house was empty.
A few days later, when their parents got back,
They couldn't find their kids anywhere.
it wasn't until 2 years later
That the mom found their rotten dead bodies.
underneath the bed.
This is a scary story about the carnival clown.
There were 2 friends named Kyle and Ted who went to a carnival.
They were both playing a bunch of games.
When they came across this one game that was run by a clown,
They both hated clowns but decided to play the game anyway.
Kyle then told Ted he was going to use the bathroom.
Ted then said, "Alright, I'll be waiting here."
When Kyle got back, he noticed Ted was nowhere to be seen.
He then asked the clown where his friend went.
The clown said he went to go get some food.
Kyle said okay and then started to play the game.
In the game, you had to knock down objects with a ball.
Kyle beat round 1 and 2, but when he got to round 3, he froze in fear.
The object on the table was his friend Ted's head. The clown then looked at Kyle and smiled. Kyle then ran and told one of the workers what just happened.
But when they got back to the game's booth,
Ted's head and the clown were both gone. To this day, Ted's body nor head was ever found.
these are pictures of extremely disturbing things, part 3.
Up first is this picture. This is a series of self-portraits drawn by an artist who ended up getting dementia later on in his life. The way in which he forgets how he looks is extremely disturbing, but he even forgets how to draw entirely, which is just haunting. Next up is a picture of what appears to be just some sort of clown suit.
But this is way more disturbing than you think.
This is actually the clown suit serial killer John Wayne Gacy wore when he lured little boys pretending to be a clown. This is such an innocent picture without context,
But with it, it's just something sinister.
Finally is this picture. This one man came back to his car only to find a note that said, "You were so easy to find, Mark. You should drive more carefully."
I don't know what I would do if I was him, but I would be absolutely terrified.
I'll most likely move away and start a new life.
This is the scary game to play in real life called The Face.
The Face is a very scary game that allows you to see the face of the devil.
This game can only be played alone.
To start the game, you will need 1 candle and then go into your bathroom just before midnight.
And lock yourself in there and turn off the lights.
Then stand in front of the mirror with the candle in your hand
And then say out loud,
"I welcome you, devil," 12 times.
then close your eyes and keep them closed until the clock strikes midnight.
Then open your eyes and you will see the face of the devil.
Now, 1 or 2 things will happen here.
Either the devil will just stare at you and then go away a couple seconds later,
Or he will grab you and take you down to hell.
for eternity, because you summoned him for no good reason.
These are the worst school shootings of all time, part 2.
Up first is the Red Lake shootings.
Red Lake, Minnesota would never quite be the same after the events that occurred at the senior high school on March 21st, 2005.
16-year-old Jeffrey Wise killed his grandmother and girlfriend that morning, then robbed his grandfather of police weapons and a bulletproof vest,
Before driving to the Red Lake Senior High School,
where he killed 7 people and injured another 5.
Wise took a total of 10 lives that day, including his own. He committed suicide in a classroom.
After exchanging fire with police.
These are scary games you should never play alone, part 4.
This game is called Rakunini, or also known as the love game.
This game allows you to contact an evil spirit who will then find out if somebody is in love with you.
And if that person rejects you, Rokunini will kill them. To begin, you have to get a leaf and tear it down the middle, and make sure each half is the same size.
Next up, take 1/2 of the leaf and put it in one hand and then the other half in the other.
Then you have to repeat the following. Tell me, Rokunini. Tell me if she loves me. Tell me, tell me, tell me.
After you say this chant 3 times, tear both halves of the leaf in half.
And if all 4 pieces are the same, it means that the person you like hates you. But if they are different sizes, it means they love you. Rokunini will then kill the person who doesn't like you in a very gruesome way.
So, if you want to find out if somebody loves you, just play this game. Animals that are most likely to kill you in each state, Part 1.
Up first is Alabama. In Alabama, a dog attack is the most likely cause of any animal-related death. As hard as it can be to believe that a family pet can cause such a tragedy,
dog bites in this state are not unheard of.
Up next is California. In California, the animal that's most likely to kill you is a rattlesnake.
Every single year in California, around 230 people are bitten by rattlesnakes, and they are extremely venomous.
But only half of those bites are fatal, due to the availability of anti-venom.
But if you get bit by a rattlesnake in the middle of nowhere with no anti-venom, then you will probably die. These are the most painful insect bites in the world, Part 1.
Up first is the tarantula hawk. This insanely scary insect is a spider wasp that preys on tarantulas. And it's one of the most painful stings a human being could experience.
And this is what it looks like and feels like to get stung by a tarantula hawk.
2. Here we go. 3. You alright? Yep. Oh my gosh!
This is the scary story about the homeowner. One day a young man was doing some yard work for a little extra money when he noticed a homeowner watching him from the window. Now this wasn't weird at all, but what was weird though was how every time the young man looked up at the homeowner just disappeared. The young man started to get annoyed, so he decided to knock on the front door and ask the homeowner, "Why you keep looking at me?" He knocked, but no one answered. He kept knocking and knocking, but nobody answered. There was a person walking by and she said, "Hey kid, what are you doing?" The young man said, "I'm doing this person's yard work and they keep looking at me through the window." "That's impossible," said the woman. "The lady who lived there died years ago and nobody moved in ever since." The young man then got a chill down his spine. As the woman who was walking walked away, he turned around and saw the creepy woman in the window waving at him. This is the creepy story about the woman on the road. One day a man was driving down a very curvy, dangerous road. Suddenly he saw a woman stumble onto the road. The man stomped on his brakes and stopped in front of her. The woman's clothes were bloody and she was waving frantically. The man got out of the car to help her and see what was wrong. The bleeding woman explained that she has been in a car accident. She told the man her kid was stuck inside the car and begged the man to help her. The man then made his way to the car, guided by the cries of the child. There was an adult dead on the steering wheel, but the man could tell the person was beyond helping. Using all his strength, he forced the door open, reaching in, grabbing the baby and rescuing it. The man then rushed back to his car with the baby, eager to reunite the mother and the child. He then realized the woman was nowhere in sight. He then put the baby in his car and locked the doors and ran back to the scene of the crash. He checked the front seat and found the dead person still slumped over the wheel. He then moved the body to look at the face, and he was horrified and shocked to discover it was the woman that he just helped and the mother of the child. This might be the most disturbing story you will ever hear.
This is Merrick McCoy and his daughter. And upon learning that his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his 19-month-old daughter, Mia, had a restraining order against him,
Merrick McCoy locked her out of the apartment, and what happens next will absolutely shock you.
He then took this photo with his daughter, posted it on Facebook, and then killed his daughter and then himself. This is just extremely chilling.
These are facts that'll make your skin crawl, Part 4.
Up first, a mother by the name of Lamora Williams cooked her 2 sons alive in the oven, and then sent a video to the father.
This is so disturbing that it sounds made up, but it's not.
This is an extremely disturbing story. Next up, 21-year-old Tyler Kiger was charged with involuntary manslaughter after he allegedly punched his brother for vaping in the house,
causing serious injuries that led to his death. I don't think that's a reason to beat somebody to death.
Especially your own brother. I feel like you guys can just talk about it. Up next, famous Italian serial killer Leonardo Cianciulli was famous for turning her victims into tea cakes and serving them to guests. This is extremely disturbing, and just imagine eating that.
This story will either terrify you or make you sick to your stomach.
In 1943, the owner of a diner in a small town
ran out of meat on a busy day. He then proceeded to do the unthinkable.
The owner killed the waitress who was working and then cooked her.
He then fed her meat to all of the customers
And out of all the customers, 12 of them became severely sick. The man was later caught and sentenced to first-degree murder, but it's still crazy to me that somebody would do this.
Your brain is gonna hate these facts, part 1.
Up first, there are about 40 supervolcanoes around the world, capable of claiming up to billions of lives. And we're about 24,000 years overdue for an eruption. So at any day, point, or time, we could have a supermassive volcano erupt and kill billions of people. This is absolutely terrifying, and I don't know how to feel about this. Up next, there's a brain-eating amoeba that lives in lakes and rivers in the southern United States. This single-celled organism travels up the nose, where it then starts to break down the tissues. So if you live in the south and you go swimming in lakes and ponds, just know there's something in that water that wants to eat your brain. Finally, you swallow about 1 to 2 cups of mucus every single day. And to put it into perspective, that is 22 gallons a year.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message on behalf of the National Sleep Foundation and the CDC. Until further notice, do not fall asleep. We repeat, do not fall asleep, as you will fall into an inescapable sleep paralysis. You will lose the ability to speak and move. At this time, we are working hard to understand this phenomenon. In the meantime, here are some ways you can remain awake. Ingest large amounts of caffeine, shower with cold water, exercise. If you happen to have someone in your household fall victim to this phenomenon, they must immediately be euthanized, as it is very dangerous to remain in that state for very long. Please report any sleeping persons immediately to your local authorities, as they have already been briefed on what course of action to take. This message will repeat every hour until there isn't anyone left to hear it.